First, we're going to start off on King of the Hill on live fire. And, you know, G1 has proven to be really strong on this map, and we saw them in the Super. Many victories here, but Native Black is a team that I feel like, you know, they're maybe a little bit inconsistent, but if all of them are firing on all cylinders, KingJay said it himself, he's a very inconsistent player, but if he's playing well, he's one of the best in the game. So if we can see performances out of KingJay, Abature, been in the scene for a very long time, coming all the way from Halo 3 doubles. Like the kid is an incredible talent. We'll see if, you know, they're both able to bring that to this game. It's a very important game, very important series for them. But of course, like I say, starting on that game number 1, getting that W is incredibly good for the momentum of the rest of the series.
G1 were knocked into the elimination bracket to begin with by Native Red. And I bet you now that G1 see the banner of Native again, although different teams, they might be seeing red right now. They're not going to get knocked out twice so far by 2 Native organizations. At that point, G1 might be playing for a little bit more than just the money. They're playing for a little bit of bragging rights as well, and also everybody's playing for valuable practice and valuable momentum going into Orlando, which is just next week. Worlds, which is literally next month.
Oof, man.
Every tournament, every game, there is nobody wasting time, because time is your currency, and you don't waste that. I don't hear nobody wasting money, and as of right now, nobody's wasting their time on the golden road to the end of season 1 of HCS.
One player I really want to focus on from G1 is going to be PreDevoNatoR. He's known to be underrated, you know, and when he came on this roster and then bubu joined him, everyone talked about everyone else on the roster. You talked about the bubus, you talked about the Swishes, you talked about the Squallayes, but PreDevoNatoR kind of in the shadows. But in the shadows sometimes is your greatest threat, and PreDevoNatoR proving that although he may be underrated, he can definitely perform with the best of them. So I'm excited to see how he performs in this series, of course.
Mentality going in when you know everyone is betting on gamers first.
When you're the underdog, you got to go in with the mentality that you're the best in the game. The mentality is so important. Going in, just knowing and realizing that you are the best team in this lobby, period. You have to really believe that and then execute on it as well. And if Native Black can do that, if they can pop off, like I said, you've got some big swing players on this team in Abature and of course in KingJay. If you can activate that, if those 2 players can pop off in this game, then we've got a great series on our hands.
We've seen time and time again, this game plays between the sniper rifle and the overshield, baiting it out to almost perfection. Does Mines, pops out, can't quite find the head, so Mines ends up going down. Snipers off the map, and it looks like Gamers First might have been able to get away with that overshield. So love the idea of the play. Sadly, doesn't work out as well as they wanted to, but the green gun will.
Yeah, what a great play by bubu to kind of delay that overshield. He knew he was safe on bottom tower, and he was able to kind of delay that, but unfortunately the plasma pistol is going to be the victor in that fight. And that OS is going to be null and void, and halfway through the very first hill is Native Black.
Shots starting to ring out. KingJay not able to win this battle against Squallaye. We do see 3 members of G1 dedicated to clearing out the A side of the map. Native Black trying to catch an offside flank here, but don't have the numbers to work with. G1 doing a great job of shutting down every single one of these pushes, and there's one player, it's going to bubu dubu, the one of the best flankers in the game, getting right behind enemy lines here, takes down one, takes down the second one, and just like that, Native Black end up going 3 down, and G1 gets some valuable hill time from here.
Yeah, that valuable hill time is going to be important, but you see they're also controlling that OS that's coming up in about 20 seconds, and that's also important. They have split resources here, Tony, and they're still able to hold on to that hill, get the time, potentially even cap this hill in a couple ticks, and of course also be on the side of that overshield. Look at bubu dubu just playing so very patient.
So far, G1 were able to get one overshield, and they use it to get that momentum and get the slays they're looking for, and they're about to steal hill number 1 because of it. I wonder if Native Black got a favorable spawn, able to get an overshield of their own, because maybe they can do exactly to G1 what Gamers First did to them.
See if this next OS plays a factor. Swish 5's on your screen, one of the best shots in the game, in my opinion. Reminds me of that of Roy, as you can see right there, into the head of Piggy. And this nest area right here is so very important. Sitting on this nest box and making sure that you're staying alive is going to prevent a lot of push that's coming out. But unfortunately, they're making a push down bottom center, and they've got to be careful of that right now. It's really up to Swish 5s to stay alive here and anchor that nest side.
I got the chance to compete against Swish multiple times, tournament play, 8s, even on LAN, and he's the real deal. The man wins all of his gunfights, but on top of that, he always plays the game so smart. He's thinking 1, 2, 3 steps ahead. I got to find out the hard way, both as a competitor and also even as a coach as well. Swish is the real deal, and people are going to find out quickly. Mine's trying to make work with the sniper rifle, ends up being stripped away from it. That's going to be awarded to bubu dubu. G1 getting the power weapons, now looking to capitalize on that map control. bubu dubu was looking for the spawners, but they're already on the move.
We got to double down on what you just said about the power weapons. Like, G1 have controlled the power weapons, and if you look at the bottom center of your screen, it's 1-0 for a reason here. These power weapons play a huge factor. bubu is such a smart player. Being able to stay alive in this situation in a position where he is pretty much exposed. But as we say all of that, Native Black putting a lot of time on the board. They're really close to completing this hill, but here comes the push, and 2 down for Native Black already.
Another overshield coming up. Native Black able to break the setup right in the nick of time. Now Native Black having to force themselves off a spawn all the way through the A side just to get in position. And G1 already have a drop wall ready for the defense, building a wall between Native Black and that overshield. We're going to see yet another OS go in favor of G1, and they're already halfway done with the second hill.
I love the play breaks by G1. They're doing such a good job coordinating those breaks, and because of that, they're able to once again pop another overshield at a perfect moment. He gets a double. Mines no more for you. Gets a triple as well, and securing potentially this hill, and gonna be up 2-0 just based off that play from bubu. He's 14-4.
bubu is taking dubus. You shouldn't expect anything less. Now shooting the Kanko of KingJay. On the way to breaking yet another setup. Native Black get a favorable spawn, but G1 have the favorable gunfights, and they're taking over, setting the pace in this game once again. 2 caps away from stealing it, and you notice that G1 are already worried about watching those cutoffs, worried about putting in damage, making this push for Native Black as hard as possible.
It's gonna be about taking out bubu here. He's got the sniper, he's on back green. If they can potentially take him out, they take out the anchor. But look how difficult he's making this kill. They finally get it, and this is the break they're looking for. And they get another kill there. That's exactly what you got to do. It's an order of process. You've got to take out the most important player, the player that's going to be that damage dealer, that cross map player, that anchor, and then take out the rest. And now finally, Native Black look to have some control.
That's a great point. You got to respect the process. Exactly what Native Black are doing. Step 1, breaking that setup. Step 2, now getting their butts in the zone. And back-to-back kills once again going in favor of Native Black. Nades are starting to fly here. Down to 1 shot. KingJay goes. G1 still not in position to capitalize on that damage. So instead of focusing on the zone, they're going to focus on the sniper rifle and overshield, which are coming up at the exact same time.
Very well said. This is the most important part of the game right here. Both of them coming up in about 3 seconds. 2 down for Native Black, though. That's a bad time to go 2 down. And now they all spawn at green, so this OS is pretty much free at this moment in time, and PreDevoNatoR getting that kill is going to potentially secure him that sniper as well.
Mine's able to get the melee off, but 3 down go Native Black. That's not what you want to see. If they're going to come back in this game, they have to start valuing their life. They have to get a lot more coordinated with these pushes and really focus on that teamwork in order to break these setups. Not only are the kills going in favor of G1, but they might have more assists than Native Black even have slays at this point. That is how well G1 are playing, and Squallaye having the responsibility of locking down the overshield side of the map, and so far, nobody's pushed just yet.
One of the biggest things I'm noticing is that G1 has gotten pretty much every overshield here, and it's allowing them to get these slays pretty easy. You got triple the shields to work with. Those breaks definitely easier with more shields, and the timing of them is very important as well. You see bubu always holding on to that OS, making sure that there's an opportune moment to use it where you can get the most value possible. Speaking of value, G1's got a lot of value in this game thus far. 3-0 on the hill counter. Is there any way that Native Black can come back in this?
Wing and a prayer, you know, anything's possible at this point. You know, I mean, there's definitely a possibility that G1's internet might go out. You know, technology's really rough, so I mean, anything can happen here. I don't want to count Native Black out just yet, but you got 2 minutes and 34 seconds to cap 3 hills just to tie things up. And right now, G1 are already halfway through progressing. This overshield is coming up. They're ready in the hill. They're holding Native Black back. Something has to change.
There needs to be a semblance of control, and there needs to be power-up control again, and power-up control. That OS is coming up. Native Black can get that one. They may be able to mend the wounds, but it's going to be difficult because you've got to get by Swish. Abature does just that. He's leading in slays right now, 16 and 13. Can he continue on and take out the whole team? No, unfortunately not. Native Black are going to go 2 down, and it's a 2v2 situation for G1.
But the third one's gonna fall. Native Black finally starting to get some energy here, able to win some of their individual gunfights. G1 having to reset off the spawn, but it's very clear the damage has been done. G1 have afforded themselves to lose a hill, maybe even 2. A couple mistakes, they can then capitalize onto their opponents to steal away this win. And Native Black still doing a great job of getting value out of the overshield. Slayers are coming in, cheeking away at the damage and the defenses of G1, and we see Native Black on the board for the first time here. 2 more, we have ourselves a game.
It's almost like I kind of know what I'm talking about. Native Black get their very first OS of the game, and look, they get their very first hill of the game as well. We need to see a little bit more of that when it comes down to getting these overshields, making sure to take control of it and utilizing it. I thought the overshield was popped a little bit early in hill, but they end up getting a lot of value in that very first hill on the board for them. It's now 3-1.
Seaside control so far in favor of G1, but Native Black looking to pull off the flank, but somehow anticipating it well. Squallaye shuts that down, and Native Black get locked down. A squad wipe in favor of G1. G1 now not only sitting in towards that zone, but now forcing Native Black over to a non-favorable side of the map. And this is going to be the hardest break for Native Black to do, but they need to. Otherwise, we're going to game 2.
There's nothing more scary than a flying bubu. He ends up getting that trade, and one of the things that I was really paying attention to right there was the fact that Abature, doing his playstyle, getting that flank down, but they read it so well. There's an ability of these top teams to be able to see the players on your screen, know who's missing, and be able to say, hey, Abature's missing, he's got to be on the flank or something. They know his playstyle, they were ready for it, and with the kill of Abature, they were just able to break completely, and now this 4th hill looking to be capped very shortly here for this G1 roster.
Native Black having to leave it all on the line. A 3-man push to break this setup. They realize that 1-3 down, and that's gonna be it. And it looks like the 2 is gonna be enough. Nobody in position to stop G1 from taking it. G1 right now stands for game 1, and that's what they take.
My goodness, the performance from Bubu, though, I believe he was 25 and 10. And also the play call. I guarantee he's doing some play calls when he delays the OS. Delaying OS is so risky. If you get caught out, you end up going down. That's a free OS for the enemy team. But look at this, timing it perfectly, getting that double kill, finding the 3rd as well, all because he delayed the OS, and that's such a big, important factor of Halo Infinite that has not been in any other Halo game with pocketing that overshield. It was such a controversial thing at the beginning of the game, but it's turning out to be that playmaking that makes it so much more enjoyable to watch, and I love it.
So many layers to peel back to this onion here, and it's G1 that come out on top though. But like you said, the play calling, the high IQ to thinking 1 step ahead is what allowed gamers first to steal away game number 1. Game 2 gonna be Slayer, and lots of times when you have these favorable teams coming in, if there's the opposition any chance for them to pull off the upset, it's usually in a Slayer.
Right.
It's usually in that game 2. So don't count Native Black out just yet.
Now let's take a look at the stats here and kind of see. I pointed out Bubu, 25 and 10. We're not going to get to see the stats, but 25 and 10, Tony, is incredible from Bubu Dubu. Like, we don't really generally see Bubu slay like that, but he was able to get that heat wave, able to get that OS, and able to convert perfectly. Once again, it comes down to players like Abature that are going to be that aggressive player, that are going to push back and try and go for those flanks, but the timing is just a huge factor. KotH talked about it earlier. Timing such a big factor in this game, and Abature's timing in that game was off, although he did slay really well. I believe he got 16 kills. We're going on to that Slayer you talked about on Aquarius. This could be the comeback factor for Native Black. Can they tie the series 1-1? Very important for them in this next game. They do not want to go down 0-2.
It's almost like when Bubu Dubu was on that phase roster, it almost felt like he was so focused on playing the objective. On G1, the whole team is focused on playing the objective. So that really allows bubu to free up and be the natural slayer that he is. Right. bubu was a phenomenal free-for-all player for so long, so it shouldn't be any surprise to us that he's able to stuff the stat sheet. Now going to game 2, the only thing that matters at this point is slays. And if he could pull off another 25 kill performance, I'm sure they'll win it out. Highly doubt that's gonna happen. But what we should see is both of these teams fighting for the camouflage, fighting for those thrusters. We talk about the heat wave and oftentimes dynamo grenades. At this point, I'm going into match. I'm timing these dynamo grenades because they are so valuable, not only in the damage they create, but the ability to slow down your opponents, interlinking off of multiple targets, and then even for nade check and getting that audio cued when you just chuck them into a random room. When you have that much value in a grenade, how does it come up every 30 seconds?
Right, very good point. And then of course that thruster, that ability to win those fights, having that extra utility that you had in Halo 5 at all times, and now you only have it when you pick up that thruster every minute. A lot of teams been timing that. Everyone's pretty much on those timers for the, for those shock nades and for the thruster and the heat wave, of course, as well. We saw that play a factor in previous series, but we'll see if bubu is able to kind of control that camo or be behind his team who controls that camo, gets that heat wave. I've got to see some more confidence, I would say, out of Native Black. They've got some incredible individual players on this squad, some aggressive players, and it seems like in that last game, G1 did shut down that aggression, but a Slayer plays a lot differently. So that they can bring that aggression, bring that confidence. We could potentially see a tie in the series here.
When you talk about the aggression that Native Black are looking to put in, the one ultimate defense I could think about that, it would have to be, it sounds crazy, it sounds hitting your shots.
Yeah.
You hit your shots, you slow your opponent down, and you give your team opportunity to get that map control just by simply putting down damage and taking as little as possible. So when I think of that, I think of Swish. Like you said, he has one of the best shots in the game. The man is the real deal. You also think about Squallaye, Eli the Ninja, Coach Eli the Ninja. Oftentimes we'll say Squallaye will hit into 70 percentile when it comes to accuracy. I don't think I've ever seen 70% accuracy in my entire life.
I'll never see that on mouse and keyboard.
Oftentimes Squallaye will just simply hit his shots, and when you have players like that who are winning those moments, not even individual pivotal battles, I'm just talking about winning the moments, slowing down your pushes, G1 have an opportunity to really gain so much map control off of the damage that they create.
And that's where the mindset comes in, right? You said hit your shots, and to be honest, when you have that mindset and that confidence that you're one of the best, that all kind of folds into place. And we know Abature, we know, KingJay are both very incredible individual players. Piggy as well. I think he's one of the better up-and-coming individual players. These guys all have individual talent. They've just got to make sure that, they're pushing together. They're getting the trades necessary in the Slayer. The trades are the most important thing. Or lack of trades as well. Like, you push into a fight in a 2v2 and, both of you stay alive. That's huge for the scoreboard, obviously. So it's plays like that need to happen. But we'll see. G1's got that play caller on bubu. We'll see if potentially they can shut down his leadership.
We talked about a lot about the matchups here and a lot of the players, but I want to hone in a little bit more on the map, and specifically how you would play a Slayer Aquarius. And when I think about it, I think of controlling that car side of the map. I think of obviously a coordinated push. Your call out, your small talk has to be on point. Because when you slay your opponent, it's almost not just about slaying. It's about what do you do with those slays? How do you capitalize? How do you punish on a map like an Aquarius? Because it's punished or be punished. So I think of controlling the car side, slaying your opponents out, forcing them over towards that refrigerator side of the map where you have very limited options, and then having the awareness to block off every single one of those angles. It's tough to do, especially against on the competitive level. But at this level, you gotta do it. G1, Native Black, control that car side, get your clean wipes, and force your opponent two directions, either up the P ramp or right back through the base, and make sure that both of those options are a negative value when it comes into it. That's how you win on Aquarius Slayer.
A very important game number 2 here in the series. G1 is up 1-0. It's up to Native Black to come back and tie the series up. And it's very important, this start here from Native Black. And they're starting off really strong. Mines has the camo.
Mine's gonna win with the camouflage, gonna be huge. 2-shot melee, taking down Squallaye with the quickness. We do see Swish and Bubu Dubu on the opposite side of the map, so love that awareness from Minds. Get right back into the play. Don't give up an inch of map control.
Unfortunately, Bubu gave up a little bit of map control here by dying, and that's going to turn into 2 for Native Black. This start looks really good. Minds is converting on everything. Gets a triple as well. 2 down, and he's on the spawns. An overkill. Can he get the kill tag? He doesn't. But his teammate cleans it up. Minds 8-1 to start the game. This is what Native Black have needed, and now they've woken up.
Minds is outslaying the opposition by himself. This man's absolutely gone off. And there's a reason for it. His team are feeding out that information. He's grabbing resources like the camouflage and putting it to work. My man Minds is absolutely doing his thing. And G1 need to find a way to slow them down, keeping him trapped over toward the fridge side. The heat wave in the hands of Bubu Dubu sends him packing. And now you're seeing a 2-man push looking to isolate Piggy. G1 stabilize a bit from here.
That's exactly what you needed if you're Native Black, though, at the start of that game. The confidence out of Minds right now is through the roof. Based off of his KDA, the question is, can he continue this momentum? And the other thing is, Tony, his teammates are going to feed off of that. I guarantee the comms sound crazy on this squad. They've definitely worked off of that incredible overkill. And now another camo at the bottom of the map. I believe it was burned. No, it looks like it's still top center. So this next camo, very important. G1 need to get this in order to come back in this game.
An 8-kill lead still in favor of Native Black. KingJay doesn't end up going down here. So we switch gears over towards Swish, taking a lot more damage than he expected, but luckily he's able to stay alive and to distract long enough for Squallaye to get the camouflage. Yes, he does. So the same way Native Black were able to utilize this camo to widen that gap, G1 have an opportunity to close it a little bit.
We haven't talked much about those dynamic spawns, but you see Abature right now isolated by himself. He's either going to be able to provide a lot of damage, or he's gonna be aggressive. It looks like the aggression is the one that he goes for. Because of that, he does get taken out, but the 2 trades come out. Swish 5s and PreDevoNatoR are gonna go down, and Squallaye doesn't seem to have gotten a lot of value out of this camo. It is gonna dissipate.
Well, I guess keeping it out of your opponent's hands is sometimes good enough here. That melee, not sure if he thought he had a sword in his hand. There's no sword in Aquarius, even if it was. It's GA. I know what you're doing. That melee not gonna connect. Bubu Dubu still holding down the top mid side. This is where you want to see Native Black again. No, you give a team an inch, they take a mile. So make sure you make it as hard as possible for them to aggress towards the 50% portion of the map. Hunt down your opponents, get your kills, execute. That's how you come back. But Native Black still hold on to a 5-kill lead.
Minds is having an incredible start to the game. He started to slow down just a bit here, but he can at least keep some steam. This will be really good for the squad. 13-5 already out of him. Like I said before, Native Black, all of them feeding off of this. They have top center control and the camo coming up. So this is another big play by them, and they get that initial kill as well. So this potentially turns into a camo for Native Black and an extension of this lead as well.
We're going down here for G1. Native Black making sure that they don't have any easy sight lines onto this active camouflage, but nobody quite in position just yet. Swish having the opportunity to go right up into the middle. Where are Native Black? With camouflage coming up, what else are we looking at here?
Unfortunately, you're right. We did have top center control on Native Black, but we were too aggressive for those kills, and now we're talking about a 7-kill lead. Make that 8, but regardless, this camo could play a big factor. We're going to see how Swish plays this.
KingJay comes in, gets himself a double kill. Big plays being made not only in the assist department, but also now starting to get the kills that they're looking for. And Native Black at this point are playing for trades. It's G1 that have to play clean Halo. Need to get those 2 and 3 downs. And more importantly, stay alive. Piggy now hiding in the corner. No longer a pig, now a rat. Able to take down Squallaye because of it. This ain't Call of Duty. Why you camping, buddy?
You see those shot grenades coming out. Playing a little bit of a factor there. Swish gets a kill again. But consistently, you talked about it just a minute ago, the trades. That's all Native Black need right now, and it's much easier to play a trade game than to have to play absolute perfect Halo like G1 has to at this moment in time. This lead is definitely large, but not impossible to come back from.
Native Black though approaching the end game here. KingJay flying right in with the commando, catches a dynamo grenade in exchange. So that's a good trade for him. But Native Black though keep putting kills on the board. G1, we talked about them having to stay alive, and as of right now, they haven't been able to eat away at the 8-kill lead. In fact, Mine's able to bring us back into 9-kill. Shots going down to 1 shot, able to trade once again. PreDevoNatoR though finally able to get that kill that they were looking for to open up the map just a bit. With active camouflage coming up, G1 desperately needed.
Yeah, this is a big camo right here. It looks like Squallaye did pick it up. Can he stay alive with it, and what value will he get out of it is the question here.
Squallaye gets himself a huge kill onto Mines. Just one though. Need a bit more if they're going to come back onto this one. The player gets isolated onto the fridge side. Huge kill. Surround and squeeze onto your opponent is what they're looking to do. The heat wave comes in. So does the melee. A 360 metal. Throw a kickflip on with the G1. Bring us within striking distance. Luckily, Piggy gets himself a clutch kill, a pivotal one at that. Nade started to fly. Heat wave still in the hands. Another trade working in favor of Native Gaming as they inch closer and closer to the 50-kill mark.
We talked about G1 having to play perfect Halo, and that's exactly what that was. PreDevoNatoR comes in on the flank. They push in with heat wave camo combo, and now we're talking about a 2-kill game, but Mines has not slowed down whatsoever. He's 18-10, and we're back up to a 4-kill lead.
Native Black have come to play, but another answer back by G1. Every time Native Black widen the gap, G1 crawl or inch forward and forward. Just one squad wipe away from taking the game and tying the series here, but KingJay taking nades left and right. That dynamo grenade comes in. Abature follows up by taking down Swish. The assist finally comes in for G1. Down by 1 kill. Bubu Dubu gets himself a double kill, has Piggy in his sights, but at the back down, he needs his help here. They need to control the car side of the map, and luckily it's coming. Native Black might have just thrown this game away. In the 15 seconds, active camouflage is coming up, and I guarantee both of these teams will be using it as bait.
It definitely will be used as bait, and that's what makes a veteran, though, out of Bubu. You see the way he just played that. Still slow playing. He gets another kill with a shock, up to 12 kills and 10 assists, 49-47. G1 only need 1, and they get it. G1 lead the series 2-0 in an incredible comeback fashion, down 11 kills, and they play perfect Halo to get the victory.
Native Black were hungry, but they're munching on Popeye's biscuits with no beverage. They're choking right now. You got to come out. You have to hold on to that lead. There's no way you should have that kind of start and you don't put the nail in the coffin. That is devastating. Not only forget the scoreboard, forget the series right now. I'm talking the mental. I'm talking the minds right now. There's no shot that you throw that game away. G1, great job clutching it, but you got to do better than that, Native Black. At this level of competition, $25,000 on the line. Don't forget why you're here.
Such a great start from Mines. You see pretty much a kill attack out of him right there, but again, it's about how many times you have been in this situation. Bubu has been in many of these situations, taking that leadership role, making sure to slow down the pace of the game, minimize the mistakes, and that's the victory. Incredible job by G1, and only one more game, and they will close this series out.
G1 have been 3-0ing teams left and right, making statements, looking hungry. They are pissed that they are down here in the elimination bracket to begin with. And Native Black right now, just a speed bump in their path to grind forward. Catalyst is what's going to be our game 3, potentially our final map. And you know we got the chance to talk to Eli the Ninja. You know he called Bubu Dubu the best skewer player in the game. With the sword not in play, the skew and the overshield is the only 2 items that these 2 teams are really going to be fighting for when it comes to power weapons.
Incredible performance by Bubu there. Mines having an incredible start to that game. Having a stellar start, but unfortunately it didn't turn into a win here. So can he continue to have a top performance and potentially bring their chances up for Native Black? First flag will be pulled. And it's going to be G1 on the run here. Bubu playing that defensive role.
It was on this very map that G1 were able to get that Game 5 clutch win over Cloud9 that really propelled them into getting that second place during the North American Super, and it's on this very map that they've already started off with getting that flag towards their base, but not able to close it out. Looks like the return is going to come in, and now we have a counterpull opportunity coming for Native Black.
That's what you got to be careful with. Overcommitting to a flag could end up in a situation like this, but look at G1 on the prowl already. Playing defense on that flagpole. The counter cap will not be effective. And Bubu with a skewer like you talked about. Let's see what he does with it.
Tries to get up close and personal. The BR shot's gonna connect, but Abature able to clutch things out just a bit. 3 down go G1, but G1 right off the spawn, defending their base. Beautifully played so far, stopping Native Black from getting the opportunity to pull yet another flag. So both teams having to reset a bit for that map control. Swish opens up with a double kill. That overshield over towards the bottom mid side. I would put money that G1 are going to be able to grab it.
Yeah, G1 did a great job of playing defense there on their base like you had mentioned, and what they waited for was some slays on the board from this Native Black roster. Unfortunately, that nade is going to take out Bubu, so this push could be quelled here. But again, that OS in the hands of Swish 5s like you called. And now, Native Black on the defensive as G1 makes a push.
Now Swish gonna put his body on the line here. Is gonna be that meat shield, absorb so much damage and attention from Native Black to open up the rest of the map here. It's not just about getting overshield. It's not just about getting kills. It's about that momentum that translates into another flagpole coming out of G1. And let me tell you, they may have messed up that first one. Native Black may have been able to get that return, but I'm not sure they can do it again. The overextenders are coming in. Tim, what are they going to do?
That's the thing, the pressure. They spawn on the opposite side of the map, and this is another fight that has to happen here because of the way Catalyst is formed. So these slays are very important, and once again, G1 really not able to get the slays. They've got to kill one more player who's in position here. They pull out the flag. It's Swish 5s. He's been in this position before. Can he get the kill? He does with PreDevoNator's help. And that flag could potentially be returned, and that first cap could go in for G1.
Flags in. Flags capped. G1 up 1-0 so far, but still a little bit less than 9 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time for Native Black to get right back in it. No reason to get discouraged just yet. Abature well aware of it. Shredding. One down to one shot, though. DevoNator know exactly where he is, but G1 go 3 down. Native Black having momentum.
Yeah, a little bit of an overextension on that kill there, but such a deep angle you can play to stay alive as long as possible. PreDevoNator ends up getting that one. Unfortunately, that first kill by Piggy needs to be traded out. It is. And 2 go down for G1 at this moment in time, so it's a 2v2 situation. And G1 are going to have the spawns, I believe, on that back flag, so Native Black have to slay again.
3 down go G1. Native Black having to slay out once again, but KingJay forced to back down. Luckily able to do so with help with the grapple. We do see an active camouflage, excuse me, an overshield coming into play, but we also see bubu, dubu, and Swish onto the feed, back-to-back kills. So G1 trying to break out of their base. Native Black trying to hold them in.
Beautiful kill there by KingJay. He's going to get traded out from some nades, though, but I got to bring up the top right corner of your screen. It's going to be mine. It's having an incredible, stellar start to that last game. Not able to close out that victory, but now having a little bit of a rough game, so maybe the mental definitely being affected by that comeback from G1, and those are the things that spiral out of control and cause momentum to happen. G1 looks like they're hungry for blood here, and they're going to open up the map with 3 down for Native Black.
They're hungry indeed, and sadly, Native Black seem to be on the menu, getting cooked. Well done. Gamers first, advancing the flag forward once again. Native Black now coming off a spawn and having timing and opportunity to overextend. G1 will have to slay out before they're able to advance this flag all the way through the base.
G1 looks prepared for this. Looks like Swish 5s is going to punch this one in unless he gets killed from behind. He got killed from behind so late there. That flag has still not gone in. They've got to get this slay here onto KingJay. They do just that. And they take care of mines, get him off of top center control as well. That's a 2-0 lead in favor of G1. They're looking extremely strong. Like you said before, they look pretty angry. They don't want to go down in this elimination bracket.
Going from bad to worse for Native Black. The 2-0 lead and worst time is starting to dwindle down. You're seeing another skewer come into play, another overshield come into play, and as of right now, Native Black haven't been able to get either all game. Squallaye rips himself a double kill, making a triple kill. Squallaye shutting down Native Black seemingly by himself, and now he has the opportunity to push up and continue to apply pressure. Native have to do everything they can to alleviate it. They need an overshield. They need resources, and G1 are relentlessly pushing on them.
Well, they've got that skewer that they can work with, and it looks like Bubu is going to secure another overshield. So those are the things that add up. He's got overshield. He's got some shots into the flag player, staying alive. These are the things that you need to stop. Like you said, Native Black need to get something here. It's a 2-cap lead, but there's still 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. There's plenty of time to make something happen.
G1 often play like a team that are well beyond their years. We're not talking about a bunch of amateurs here. We're talking about players that play like champions. Whether they're up, down, it doesn't matter. They always have that ultimate goal in mind and what they need to do to win. The small talk, the communication, the work ethic is there, and you're seeing that translate always in the scoreboard. It's 2-0. Still in favor of G1. Native Black, 5 minutes on the clock, but that time continues to dwindle down. You go 3 down indeed. You're allowing this flag to move in once again. I said 2-0. Excuse me. I meant 3-0 active.
You were right. 3-0. One of the big factors, Tony. Look at the top left of your screen in that very middle column. G1, 40 assists. I believe 40 plus assists now. I did the calculation a lot earlier, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm really slow at that. But regardless, a lot of assists on the side of G1, which is absolutely incredible. And Tony, are you sure you read that paper right? Did Eli tell you PreDevoNatoR was the skewer player, or was it Bubu? Because PreDevoNator's popping off right now. 13 assists, 14 kills, and only 10 deaths across the board for G1.
I'll be honest, I have a hard time with grammar. I can't read, but one thing G1 are reading the defenses and the strategies that Native Black are doing. They're downloading the information and turning it into counters. As of right now, Native Black barely looking present on the map here. Forget capping flags. I just want to see Native Black do something here on Catalyst.
You see the mentality right there. When you're having a rough game like mine's, and I don't mean to call him out. I think he's an incredible player. He's got some incredible awareness. One of the most, incredibly aware players in the league. But when you get frustrated like that, and you're 11 and 6. You're 7 and 18. You tend to play a little bit more aggressive. You tend to tilt a little bit, and it's a big thing. So Mines has to kind of just slow it down, play his role, make sure that he's catching players off guard and putting damage in. But 3 minutes and 40 seconds left with a 3-0 lead. It's going to be near impossible for this Native Black roster. We've seen better comebacks in the past, and I'm sorry, I meant 4-0. As G1 puts in another cap.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're still assuming that Native Black can win this. Wait, hold on. What? I'm looking at the bracket. What are we talking about? We're still. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were still kind of. I'm sorry. This is still very much possible. You have less than a minute per flag cap to play to try to make something happen against a G1 that's been absolutely dominating so far. Maybe it starts with the 3 down. Maybe it starts with the pull for Native Black. Maybe I have to pull a foot from way down my mouth because Native Black are looking to put their first cap on the board.
It all comes down to these next few slays, though. They get bubu dubu off of spawn. This flag is all the way past the halfway point. But again, they've got to make sure they don't overextend from this, because if they do, if they send too many resources, there could be a counter cap situation, and that's not what you want, because 1 cap is all G1 need to close this out.
Native Black having to pull everything out of their arsenal in order to get that flag as close as possible towards the base, and they almost were able to cap it home, but sadly almost only works in darts and horseshoes. Sadly, close is not enough. G1 shut that down. They get themselves a return. They're 1 cap away in order to winning the game. And at this point, if G1 really wanted to, they can just play the time right now. They can play 2 minutes of Slayer, but that's not how they want to win. Right up towards the mid, DevoNatoR goes with that flag, continue to put in the pressure and make Native Gaming as uncomfortable as possible.
Can we please go back again and take a look at this assist column? Are you kidding me? Like, compared to Native Black, this roster is just so incredibly well oiled. Like, they work so well together. The chemistry is just built. They got that breakout team of Kansas City, but then they added the likes of bubu dubu, who is doing just incredible things. That one change has made such a big difference for this roster. And it's just great to see that, you know, they're involved in so many of those fights together. It's not an individual game in Halo Infinite. It's a team game. It's one of the biggest team games in Halo's franchise history, in my opinion. You need that teamwork. You need to be involved in your team's fights. And it's happening. Look at Squallaye. You know, I watch his shot and I just get really jealous because I'll never shoot like that on mouse and keyboard, and it makes me sad.
There should be no surprise that they're well oiled. I mean, you're talking about an organization that hires chiropractors. You're talking about they hire hibachi chefs. I mean, they probably hired a masseuse. They probably got a massage. They oiled up right now. Got a massage before the game. They're feeling good. They're feeling loose, and of course they are. Not only did they 5-0 them in that game number 3, but 3-0 sweep to send Native Black home.
Yeah, every time you see Catalyst and G1 together, you can pretty much guarantee that G1 is going to come out on top. That's definitely one of their strongest maps, in my opinion, from what I've watched of the Super, what I'm watching today. They just know the map on a different level than any other team right now, and it's just great to see. I cannot wait to see if they get this map again throughout the rest of this tournament. I can't wait to see how they perform because they look like masterminds on Catalyst.
G1 are a different breed, man. You know, you are the company you keep,
right?
And when you're hanging out with champions, when you walk, talk, and act like a champion, eventually the people around you start seeing you and just start associating you with champions.
Right.
It's as simple as that. G1 are doing the things that they need to do in order to be successful both outside the game and also inside the game as well. The scrims, the grind, the film review, it is real. And G1 may have been knocked down earlier by Native Red, but they're coming back with a vengeance.
Look at that series layout. Domination on all facets, except for that Slayer game where it really looked like Native Black were going to come back and win that one. And that could have been the momentum shift they needed, but the comeback was just incredible. And that just really hammers on your mental when you're up by that much and then just kind of throw it away. It just gets really difficult to play in that next game. And we saw it in that game number 3, a 5-0. Pay attention to the rest of this tournament. Pay attention to G1 and how they perform on this Catalyst map. I'm telling you that there's a lot of teams that will lose to them on Catalyst. They are one of the better Catalyst teams, in my opinion, in the HCS. And just great to see their work on this. It's like art. It's beautiful.